Hey, it's Dr. Thornell with New England Family Chiropractic, and I want to give you today, in our Back to Basics series, 10 quarantine hacks so you don't put on weight while we're missing out on all the sports activities and all the things, and we're staying home more so. So these are 10 things that you can put into your daily routine. Some of them are very simple, some of them take a little bit more effort, but none of them are, spending an hour on the treadmill or anything like that. These are just little hacks, little tweaks that you can make in your routine that you have now, your more sedentary lifestyle that most of us are experiencing, so that you don't put on weight during this time period. So the first one is probably the most strenuous of all of these. The first two are the most strenuous, and that is once every hour I want you to take 30 seconds to exercise. So what we have is high knees. We're pumping our arms and legs as if running in place, but getting your knees above your waist. And we're going to do that as fast as we can for 10 seconds. Take a little break, catch your breath, do it again, so that we do that 3 times. So we're asking for 30 seconds of aerobic type exercise 1 time every hour. So from the time you wake up in the morning, if you just look at your watch and say you get up at 7, make sure that we're doing it sometime in that 7 o'clock hour. And then on the hour is a good way to remember this. On the hour, every hour, we do that 30 seconds. When we're done with that, we're going to drop to the ground and we're going to do push-ups. And we're going to do our max number of push-ups 1 time every hour. So if you can do 5 push-ups, you're doing 5 every hour. If you can do 40, you're going to do 40 every hour, and see how long you can keep that up. So those are the 2 sort of strenuous ones. Outside of that, this gets a lot easier, but those are important. We want to do those to increase our heart rate, make sure that that's happening a little bit every day. You may break a sweat, which is a positive thing for you in a lot of ways. We're going to help to maintain some lean muscle mass, which will allow you to burn more calories throughout the day, no matter what you're doing. So those 2, they're a little more strenuous, but they're very important. So make sure that we are doing those 2 things. Next, we have adding a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, either directly or you can try to dissolve it into some different types of liquids and see how you can get it down. Some people enjoy the taste of it, others don't. It will help in a lot of different ways, from heartburn and digestion to activating, the reason I put it on this list, activating fat as a fuel source. Everybody walks around with tons of fuel that we call body fat that, unless we're really forced to activate, we don't utilize, which is why it continues to grow and grow. And apple cider vinegar is one of those things that, for a sedentary person, will get us to be able to activate fat as a fuel source. The next one is using cinnamon frequently throughout the day. Have the cinnamon right out on the counter, and if you have coffee, you might try cinnamon in it. If you have oatmeal, if you have ice cream, if you make a smoothie of any kind, try adding cinnamon to a lot of different things. And the reason we want to do that is cinnamon, when the body processes cinnamon, your brain picks up on cinnamon almost like being sugar, and it helps to quell the urge to have sugar constantly by your brain. If somebody is a sugar burning metabolism person, if they're not into the ketogenic diet and eating a lot of quality high fats, they tend to be sugar burning, and with any length of time, a half hour to 2 hours, your blood sugar starts to dip and you crave sugar. So what cinnamon will do when it's in your system is decrease those cravings for sugar, because we all know that sugar is bad for your immune system. Sugar increases body fat, sugar increases insulin and insulin resistance, and just bad for a lot of reasons. And while I'm on that one, we jump down here to the next one. It talks about decreasing sugar. Watch any of the documentaries available on YouTube, on Netflix, on Prime Video. Put in anything about sugar and watch one of those videos. If once a week or once a month you watch a documentary on sugar, I guarantee you will decrease your sugar intake. What it does, and when they break it down in those documentaries, what it does inside your body is absolutely toxic. So I could add this to the list, make it 11 things. You don't even have to do anything, just sit there and watch one of those videos. So number 5, we're going to increase protein, fiber, and healthy fat in our diet. So by protein, we mean things like lean meat, fish, vegetables that are high in protein, like beans. Fiber, we also have beans and fresh, raw fruits and vegetables. Healthy fat, things like avocado, coconut oil. Those are things that help you feel fuller longer and will again help to access burning fat. So as we sit around, we don't want to feel hungry, or else we're going to just grab everything and start to eat. When we do eat, we want it to be something that lasts and give us that feeling of being full. So we want to eat those things frequently throughout the day so that we feel full. And at the same time, we're going to decrease the amount of sugar that we're taking in and the carbohydrates. These are things that are absolutely no good for us, and they're even worse when we're in a sedentary state. So increase these, decrease those. Next, I want you to consider fasting. There's a lot of different ways to do fasting, and the benefits are too many to list here. I do have a video that if you're interested in, you can send me a message. Just put your name in the comments or mention fasting, and I'll send you a link to a video that we did. We had a workshop, we've done it a couple of times here in the office, on fasting, and it covers alternate day fasting and intermittent fasting, and a lot of different types of fasting with all of the benefits. And in this day and age, the benefits are huge because it affects the immune system, it affects stem cells, it affects the ability to sleep properly, which is a surprise to a lot of people. It affects your weight, and we know that being obese is a risk factor for almost every disease. Next one, we want to avoid eating late in the day. So for most people, about 7 o'clock would be the last time we want to eat. We want to give enough time to process some of that food before we go to sleep. But more importantly, it actually helps us sleep better, because when we cut off food at a certain hour, it helps our body to realize, oh, now it's time to go to sleep. When I eat right up until I go to bed, my body thinks because I'm eating, it's wake time, and we should be active, and so we stay awake longer than we should. So avoid eating after 7 o'clock. We want to stay hydrated, meaning drinking lots of clean, fresh, healthy water. Number one, that will help to decrease hunger, much like having the fiber and the healthy fat. It will increase your metabolic rate, which means even if I'm sitting watching that documentary about how bad sugar is, I'm burning more calories as I sit there, and studies have shown that it will increase your metabolic rate by somewhere between 5 and 30%, depending on which study, how much, who the person is, whether they're athletes or not. But what it never says is that it decreases your metabolic rate. So it's in your best interest, not only for metabolic rate reasons to stay hydrated, but for lots of healthy reasons, including the anti-inflammatory effects of staying hydrated. And people will always ask, well, how much water does it take to stay hydrated? A quick rule of thumb is half of your body weight in ounces each day. So if I'm a 200-pound person, I want to drink 100 ounces of water each day. And that's simply to stay hydrated. Number 9, we want to take a 15-plus minute walk every day. So if it's 15 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, if an hour and 15 minutes, as long as we're getting that 15 minutes and then some, the plus is a bonus, but get a 15-minute walk in every day. That can be on a treadmill, it can be up and down your hallway, it can be around your block, it can be out on the canal, it can be wherever, but we want to get that 15 minutes worth of walking in, again, to help boost the metabolic rate, to keep your joints moving. One of the biggest health crisis that's going to come out of the coronavirus situation is all these people that are sedentary are then going to start to develop diseases related to the sedentary lifestyle, arthritis being a major one. The body is made to move, not only from blood sugar regulation to joint health. You have to move every day, and so sitting on the couch watching that one documentary is fine, but we can't spend all day like that. And then the last one is to consume vitamin C every day. Get yourself a good vitamin C supplement, and also eat foods, mainly fruits, but there are also vegetables that are rich in vitamin C, and eat those foods every day. One of the reasons is we know that it takes vitamin C for the immune system to work properly, and if you're watching the news and reading studies about how they're treating patients that have this coronavirus, vitamin C and intravenous vitamin C is one of the leading treatments that's happening today. And then the other reason it's important is it will decrease your cortisol levels within your body. Your cortisol is a stress hormone that negatively impacts your immune system and has a whole bunch of other effects that are bad for your body and causing inflammation and other things. So vitamin C helps to limit the effects of cortisol, making you overall healthier, which is being healthy is always your best approach to fighting off any kind of disease, no matter what it is. So that's my 10 quick hacks for you today on how to get through this quarantine time and not end up putting on a bunch of weight from the sedentary lifestyle. Again, if you want that link to the fasting video, just shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll get that out to you.